We got the prospect Nathaniel Wood back here on the program. Is going to be fighting at UFC London on March 16th. Nathaniel, how are you, man?
I'm very good, thank you, mate.
Awesome. And of course, your last fight was an impressive win over Andre Ewell. You got that third round submission. And I know you were telling me a little bit off camera that you were worried you might not get the finish, but you must have been pretty glad to get that, especially on such a huge card at the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. I really was. If I'm honest, I was enjoying the fight. It went really well for me. I wasn't really getting any problems, taking no damage. So, as the fight got near the end, I just thought, right, let's stay uninjured and get a nice win and be ready for that London card. So, obviously, as we got to the end of the fight, I beat him into submission, and he gave me that finish. So it was nice to get the win.
Yeah, and the New Year's Eve card for the UFC is always a huge deal. They always stack the deck. It was certainly, your performance, I think, stood out on there just in terms of one of the great finishes. What was the feedback like after that fight? Because, again, that happened early on in the night. I'm sure a lot of people came out of the woodwork to give you some props on that win.
Yeah, I got a lot of props from the fight. If I'm honest, I wanted to put a little bit more on of a show. I did, kind of play it slightly safe in the last round, just to thought, as I say, I didn't want to injure myself. I could go and looking for that knockout and break my hand or something. And I knew that he had nothing for me on the floor. So if I'm honest, I'd have rather had a bit more of a striking fight, but it was all about getting that win, staying uninjured. But from what everyone said, they really enjoyed the fight. They thought I looked really good. It was nice to get a bit of, ring time and be able to kind of show off my skills. And everyone I spoke to so far has had good things to say about it.
And I'm sure the UFC thought it was a good performance because here you are fighting in London. I know this is a huge deal for you. Where does this rank in terms of life moments getting to fight for the UFC in London?
Honestly, it is a dream come true, and I'm not just saying that. I know a lot of people, they use that term all the time, but it really is. The first UFC event I ever went to was to watch my coach, Brad Pickett, fight Neil Siri, probably 5 years ago. And I didn't even know Brad at the time, and I remember thinking to myself, man, if I can headline this show one day, that is, that's it. That's the pinnacle of the, where I want to be. And I'm not headlining it, but I'm on the card. Hopefully I get a shot at the main card, and if I don't, I don't care. I'm still there, and that for me is, as you say, is definitely one off the bucket list.
You're taking on Jose Alberto Quinones. He's got a 7-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him?
If I'm honest, I haven't really watched anything of him. I've watched about 5 minutes of one of his fights. But for me, I always let my coaches do it. They're the ones that set the game plan. If you even really say I set a game plan. But from what they're saying, he's similar to Andre Ewell. He's long, quite tall, southpaw. I think he's pretty decent everywhere, but I wouldn't say he's amazing anywhere. So I think it's coming down to one of those again where wherever I decide to take the fight, I'll take it. And if I'm honest, I can see myself just getting a knockout win in the first round.
Okay, I like the confidence. How has training camp been going, and who have been some of your main training partners?
Training camp's gone perfect. It's kind of the same old same. We've just basically continued from the last fight. We've pretty much just stayed in fight camp, and I've got amazing partners. I've got one of my main training partners, who's also my jiu-jitsu coach, Ashley Grimshaw, who's headlining the Bellator main event coming up in America. Brad
That's the
Pickett,
fight against
obviously.
Sanchez, Emmanuel Sanchez, right?
Yeah, yeah. I really think he's going to do well in that. So, I definitely want to look out for. We've got Dominic Wood in, Nathan Grayson, Banny Dundavan, Brad Pickett, obviously my coach. Obviously, I get all my training in with my dad, Gary Wood. And mate, if I'm honest, I feel like I've got the winning formula. I've got that team, and I just surround myself with them guys, and I honestly believe that I'm going to get to the top.
It's going to be great to have that crowd support too. I'm sure a lot of people coming out to watch this fight, but is it a little annoying? I'm sure people are hitting you up for tickets, and you're like, "Look, I got nothing."
Mate, the amount of messages I've had for tickets, and they literally sold out within seconds when they went on for sale. And I'm getting messages of everyone saying, "Have you got tickets?" I'm like, mate, I can't even get my uncle and my cousins that are asking for tickets. So it's like, but I suppose it's a good problem to have. It's good that the UFC have sold out, and that crowd's going to be buzzing on March 16th.
How's the cut going? This fight's coming up in a couple weeks. I know you always make weight, but I got to ask anyways. Everything going well?
Yeah, it is. It really is. But it always is painful. It sucks. I would love to just go out to McDonald's now and just pig out, but unfortunately, I can't do that. But it will all be worth it. That's the main thing.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight? I imagine Brad Pickett. Who else will be there?
So my dad will be in my corner, who always has been from the start, and also Ashley Grimshaw as well. As I say, he's my jiu-jitsu coach. So he kind of covers that base, that side of things, and then Brad and my dad, they're my MMA and striking coaches. So I've got everything covered with them three in there.
And I know you're not looking past Jose in this fight, but I'm sure you know the implications here if you get a win here. That's going to definitely propel you up. People were really impressed with your last fight. Is the plan after this to try and get a veteran, someone to really cement your name in the division? Is that what you're looking at? Because I think that the streak you're on right now, we could see you propel up the division pretty fast.
Definitely. As far as I'm concerned, I would have took anyone in the top 10 division now. I know I'm ready. I know I've got the skill set to beat anyone there is in bantamweight in the world. So as soon as the UFC want to give me a highly ranked guy, 100% I'll take that, and I'm very confident that I'll beat him.
Okay, and just sticking with the division, I'm sure you saw Peter Yan's win this past weekend. What did you think of that? He seems like someone that's going to be a threat to anyone at 135.
If I'm honest, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
It'd definitely be one to watch. But yeah, I'm very confident if I go in there with him, I'm going to get that win. So, if the UFC want to put us on in the future, that would definitely be a fight to make. I'm not sure, obviously, where he'll be ranked now. Beating John Dodson, he's probably quite high, so I can only imagine they won't put me that high just yet. But keep knocking them out, and I'll get there.
What does downtime look like for this camp? Anything you're doing to take your mind off everything? Because there's a lot of pressure here. Just because you are fighting in your backyard, I imagine you're trying to do a few things to take your mind off things.
For me, I've got a physio massage guy that comes down called Umut. He comes to my house and gives me treatment, and mate, he's been a lifesaver this camp. He's kept my muscles loose, and anytime I feel tight, he's over to mine. As far as like kind of switching off from training, I just like watching a good film with my girlfriend. I'm not hard to please. Put the Netflix on, chill out. Feet up, that kind of thing. And yeah, mate. As I say, I'm just buzzing to get March 16th over and done with, and then see what's next for me.
What is the last good movie you've watched? What gets 2 thumbs up from the prospect?
Oh, what was the last one I watched? It was at the cinema called Battle Angel. I think it might have been Alea Battle Angel or something like that. It's only just come out, and mate, that was a good film. Definitely go and watch it.
Yeah, I'll take that recommendation. We certainly got to watch this card. This is going to be awesome. Darren Till, George Masvidal in the main event. This is a great card coming up here March 16th. Nathaniel, it's great catching up with you, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
So you can follow me at The Prospect MMA, which is my Instagram and Twitter handle. And my Facebook is just Nathaniel Wood. As always, I just want to say a huge thank you to my sponsors, Arc Minute, Scramble, Red King. The list will go on all day. Also, Huav, my watch sponsors, they're looking after me. So, and obviously all my coaches, all my team, everyone at Team Titan, my dad, Brad Pickett, Ashley Grimshaw, mate, I'm going to forget some. So, I better not say too many, otherwise I'll be in trouble.